I want to see if it breaks these highs, then I'll take it. So I do like how it retested the white line. Alright, I'm gonna get in on this with 5 micros. Put my stop loss at 0.35. Done. All right, what's up everyone? As you can see, I had a pretty good day. I made around 1200 in all 5 accounts. Yesterday I didn't really post anything because I didn't take any trades. Yesterday was a really tough day. It was very choppy, so I just chose to not do anything. So yeah, I waited for today. This is a trade that I took. I'm actually gonna take out everything and kind of just show you guys what made me take long. Okay, first of all, I start on the daily time frame. I saw that there was this daily supply zone, so I marked that, moved down to the 4-hour, and I saw another supply zone, which was over here. Now normally I don't like to stack up zones like this, but I chose to do it today because I really liked this 4-hour, and I liked how market, when it tapped into this area, it had a very nice reaction to it, which is why, you know, I marked it. Because I normally, when I see zones stacked up together like this, I don't like it when they're very close together, so I just choose the bigger time frame. But I chose to stack them today because of this reaction right here. Okay, so yeah, that 4-hour zone was a very important one today. It was 2 more zones that were important today. Number 1 was this, well, number 3 actually, another 45-minute zone with another good reaction, right? As you can see, this 45-minute supply zone, it's had 1, 2, and then if you go forward over here, yesterday we were actually rejecting this area. Now when market opened up, let me put this in replay mode. When market opened up, what I saw was that we had already a 45-minute candle close above 50%. Now when I saw that, I was already thinking long because of this right here, because of this candle close, and it was strong. So if I had to create a bias in the morning, it was bullish. The only way my bullish bias was going to switch, it was if we started trading below 50% and then continued down, but that didn't happen, as you guys know. But another zone that was not important, but it was in my, how do you say it, on my chart at the time. I didn't really think too much of this little 45-minute zone, even though it looks very strong. Again, because the bigger time frame zone above it was a 4-hour, so I knew the 4-hour up here was way stronger than this little zone over here. Okay, but as you guys know, I'm gonna actually do my support and resistance as well. Normally when I do the trade recaps, I don't do my support and resistance line, just because I normally don't take entries off of support and resistance. Most of the time when I take entries, it's going to be off of supply and demand, right? Off of these gray zones that I normally have. But today, I couldn't really get that entry, so I stuck. What am I saying? So I chose, I was gonna say I stuck to support and resistance, but that didn't even make sense. I took the entry off of support and resistance. So I'm actually going to draw them out for you guys. If you don't already know, the way I draw support and resistance is very simple. I go on the 1 hour time frame, and then I look for areas that price has rejected to, and then I put my white line at the body, not the wick. Body, not the wick, body. You get what I mean. You get what I mean. Okay. But I wait for the first 15-minute candle, which is what I did today. I also had this liquidity marked. It's a 830 CPI, just data liquidity. Not that it really mattered to me, but I do like to know that, most likely there is some type of liquidity. There could potentially be a liquidity sweep. Okay, so that's why I had it marked. But again, it really didn't mean anything for me. Boom, the first 15-minute candle closes beautifully. And it closed out beautifully because it retested this white line right here. Let me move this. It retested the white line, right? It pulled back, retested it, and then it rejected it. So you guys already know. If you've watched a couple of my videos, you know that I look for that a lot, right? If we break through a white line, I want to see this white line kind of get respected, right? So if we break through resistance, I want to see it turn into support. And that's exactly what happened over here. You can see market opened, pulled back to this white line / 50% area, and then it rejected. So right after that first 15-minute candle, I was like, okay, I definitely want to take a long, because I know that we can go to the next area of interest, which is this 4-hour zone up here. Yes, there's this 45-minute zone, but again, I feel like bigger time frames always are going to be the stronger magnet, of course. So what I did was I waited for the 5-minute to open up, which was a new 15-minute candle. And I always say, like, when a new 15-minute candle forms, most of the time it's going to create that little wick, and then it's going to push up. So I was waiting for that. What I wanted to see on this new 15-minute candle was a retest of this white line right here. Again, kind of respecting the level just like it did down here. So I wanted to see market respect this white line. Next 5-minute candle closes, and it respected the white line, right? We didn't close below it. If it did close below it, then I would have waited for market to retest this area down here. But that didn't happen, right? So once I saw this candle close respecting this white line here, again, I was still thinking long. I didn't get into longs right away because I wanted to see the market push up in a stronger way, right? So what I did was that I waited for a break of structure up here. So once the market broke that wick right there to the upside, then I took a long up here. And it happened very quick. As you can see in this next 5-minute candle, I had a perfect entry. And it's really like a split second decision, because I promise you, like, if I hesitated a couple of seconds, my entry would have probably been up here. So confidence equals better execution. Okay. And I feel like what made me really confident in this trade was this retest over here, and again, respecting the white line, and of course the momentum, but boom, once I hit a 1-to-1, I broke even. So it was around here. And then I knew, of course, that the market was going to most likely push through this small 45-minute supply zone because, again, bigger time frames are bigger magnets. And that's what happened eventually. Now, I will speak on this because I think it's very important, not just for me, but for everyone. And I mean, my future self, because I've had this thing a lot where I take a trade, and then if I left a runner, or, if I let it breathe a little bit more, I could have hit a 1-to-4, and that happened today. Which is funny because I knew I wanted to hold it, but for some reason, I don't know why, I didn't want to let it breathe so much. And I truly think it's because in the morning, for some reason, I had woken up pretty anxious about trading. It's not the first time that it happens. Like, I have that happen at least once a month where, like, it's either the night before or the morning of trading that I'm just anxious to trade. I'm anxious to lose money. And that's what was happening to me this morning. But I think what really helped me with that kind of anxiety of trading was talking about it with my students. I was like, listen, like, to be honest, like, I'm not really feeling the best, so I'm not even gonna risk that much today. But we're gonna be patient for it, and that's what happened. And I think if you have that anxiety of getting into trades in the morning, which I think is very common, again, because you don't want to lose money, then instead of ignoring it, just kind of accept it, and try to be in control of it. Because if you ignore it, then it's still gonna control you in some way. Like, I feel like every time I ignore that anxious feeling, I take a L. And it's because I let those emotions control me. So, anyways, that's a bit off topic, but I just felt like I needed to talk about it. Anyways, once I was up 1,000, which was around this area, once the market touched up, I'm stuttering. Once the market touched up on this 4 hour supply zone, I was like, all right, we could reject this area here, because it is a strong zone, right? We've rejected it before. So I did lock in some money at around $1,000 around this area here. Listen, I wanted it to hit 800 ticks or 200 points because I knew that most likely we were going to hit this 50% area. Plus, it's also a support and resistance zone. But that didn't happen. What happened was that right after, where is it? Okay, right after this candle, I moved my stop loss up to $1,200 in profit. And I think the reason for that was, again, the emotions and the money too. Like, for a fact, I know if this trade was up 1,000 and then it went back all the way down to break even, I definitely would have been like very pissed, right? So I locked in some money. Plus, I was over a 122, so I was fine with just locking that in. But yeah, eventually, of course, we did end up pulling back during 11 and then chopping up during lunchtime. But eventually, we did hit 50%. And then so far, let's see how this played out. Okay, so, I mean, yeah, it kind of chopped on 50% basically for the rest of the day. But yeah, it was a beautiful trade. I really closed out the trade at 500 ticks slash 125 points. And again, it was only with 5 micros. So imagine if it was 1 mini. But again, I didn't feel like trading with 1 mini because of my emotions in the morning. And also, if you're wondering, 5 micros on a 150K account is very low. I feel like normally people with 150K accounts trade with minis. I haven't even touched minis this whole time. And I think I'm just, starting off slow, which is fine. And taking it slow, taking my time. I'm only going to size up when I'm comfortable and when I see the opportunity. As you can see, like, I'm not really forcing anything, and I think that's the best way to approach your funded accounts is just let the trades come to you, be patient for it, and execute it good. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to trade with me live, the link is below. And I love you guys, man. Thank you for watching.